In this problem, our goal is to find a pattern in the table of values that's given to us. And once we've found the pattern, we need to decide what type of function it is and then write the equation for the function. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to find a pattern in the table. And probably the first thing that you would see is that we're adding 2 to our x values each time. Okay, so you'd want to see then, well, what's maybe happening to our y values? Well, you can see that we're not adding by a constant amount because right here we're adding by 12, but to go from 12 to 64, that'd be adding a lot more than 12. So then you could grab your calculator to see if we're multiplying by anything each time. So you could take 204.8 divided by 64.8. So to get from here to here, we're multiplying by about 3.16. Well, let's see if that's the same between 64.8 and 12.8. And it's not. To go from 12.8 to 64.8, we're getting 5.0625. So we're not multiplying by a set number. And so I don't think it's add, multiply, or add. So I'm going to try and find a different pattern in my x's. To go from 2 to 4, I'm multiplying by 2. To go from 4 to 8, I'm multiplying by 2. So I'm going to see if there is a set factor that we're changing by between the first and the second coordinates and the second and the fourth set of coordinates. So I'm going to take 204.8 and divide that by 12.8. And we multiplied by 16. Now we can take 12.8 divided by 0.8, and we're also multiplying by 16. So that tells me that we have a multiply pattern, which tells me that this is a power function. Okay, now that we know what type of function it is, I know what my equation needs to look like. And it's going to be in the form y equals a times x to the b power. I need to find a and b, so that's 2 unknowns, so I need to write 2 equations. I have a whole table of values, so you can pick any 2 points to write your equations. I'm going to go ahead and pick the first coordinate, 0.8. My y value is 0.8. I don't know a, but x is 2, and I don't know b. My second coordinate, I'm going to go ahead and choose the last one, where y is 500. I don't know a, x is 10, and I don't know b. From here, I'm going to solve one of the equations for a variable, and in either one, a is the easier one to solve for. So I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2 to the b. That will leave me with 0.8 over 2 to the b power. From here, I'm going to take this value, plug it into the other equation for a. So I will have 500 equals 0.8 over 2 to the b times 10 to the b. I'm now going to rearrange this equation a little bit. So I'm going to leave the 500 alone, and I'm going to pull the 0.8 out front and multiply this 10 to the b to the numerator. So now everything with the b is together in one fraction, and the constant is pulled out front. So now I can divide both sides by this 0.8. I'm going to move this over here. So I'll have 500 over 0.8 equals 10 to the b over 2 to the b. From here, I'm going to take 500 divided by 0.8, and I get a nice number, which is 625. I'm then going to rewrite this fraction. Since both the top and the bottom are to the b power, I can rewrite this as 10 over 2 to the b. From here, since I'm looking for an exponent, I'm going to do the log of both sides. And I can rewrite 10 over 2 as 5, so log of 5 to the b. The reason why we do this is now I can bring this b and pull it out front. So I will have the log of 625 equals b times the log of 5. And then to find b, I'm going to divide both sides by the log of 5. So b will equal the log of 625 over the log of 5. I'm going to go ahead and type this into our calculator. So we'll have the log of 625, make sure to end parentheses, divided by the log of 5. And we end up getting a nice number, which is 4. Keep in mind that we had two unknowns. We had to find A and B. Now that I know B, I'm going to plug it in to the equation where I solved for A. So A will equal 0.8 over 2 to the 4th. Type that in our calculator. Divided by 2 to the 4th power. And we end up getting A is 0.05. Now we can write our equation. Y will equal 0.05 x to the 4th power. Now that we have our particular equation, we're done.